What is it you're wanting to do and be and achieve? What did you learn about yourself in this last year? Yeah. Happy New Year, cardomancing community. April here on Tarot and Witchery, and this is my year recap with the decks that I purchased last year. Whew, what a year it has been. So welcome if you're new here. If you've been someone who's been watching me for a while, I want to say thank you so much. I thought last year there was so much support for me for the different things that I went through, and I pulled away from my channel for a while, and a lot of you have stuck around, and I just so appreciate all of you who comment or have even reached out to me to ask me how I'm doing. So you know, it's weird. This is like a virtual universe that we sort of live in, but we're real people, and the connections, the comments, the things like that have really meant a lot to me. And even those of you who don't comment, I still feel your presence out there. And yeah, it's really special. So I want to say thank you right now at the beginning of the year here before we head into 2024, right? I had a lot of things happen last year in my life, and it really had me look at what was important to me and what I wanted to be focusing on, where I wanted to be putting my energies, what was I getting out of what I was putting into. And so it's really made me sort of rethink my channel, how I want to be doing this and what I want to be doing with it. And so I want to share with you a little bit about that before I get into my decks. Okay, so I sat down and kind of planned out what I want to do for 2024, and I want to share that with you. I wanted to focus more on teaching, on talking about working with the cards a little bit more, like hands-on stuff, not just deck flip-throughs. That I do have some deck flip-throughs that I'm going to do, but they are going to be in my favorite decks series. I have a whole series on my favorite decks, and I will flip through those decks and tell you why I like them, and how I work with them, why they're important to me. I have a series called Scary Tarot Cards that I'll be putting out, and that's 8 videos, 8 different cards, and these are like the tarot cards with difficult themes to them when they come up in our tarot reading, that they're like, ugh, this is a hard card, and there's no way around that there are hard cards in the tarot, and they're supposed to be, because life is not just all 10 of Cups moments. And so that Scary Tarot Card series I think is going to be a lot of fun. I really love Oracle decks, and so I am going to be doing a series in 2024 called Ideas for Oracles, and it is specific ideas on how I use Oracle cards in readings in conjunction with tarot, but you don't have to use them with tarot. They are standalone ideas as well. And so I'll be sharing those. I think I have 6 or 7 ideas for that, and I think that's going to be a really fun series to be a part of. I also have some ideas. They're kind of like collections of decks, kind of funky ideas, and a tag idea as well. So you may have noticed last year I did decks for ancestral work, so it'll be kind of things like that that are sort of themed. In the past I've done winter decks or fall decks or spring decks or summer ideas. So there's more stuff like that, more tarot tips. I'll be doing some shorter videos too. I'm going to try to do just some 8-minute and under videos that are easy to catch. But my focus is on learning. I want your feedback on this. Please, you guys, take time to give me your feedback. I didn't get this. This wasn't explained well. I could have used more ideas. How could I do it this way? I like this. I'd like more of that. I'd really love some good solid feedback from all of you when these video series come out, what you think about them. In line with me wanting to do more with teaching tarot and oracle, I want to encourage you to sign up for my newsletter down below. It is my personal goal this year to write more. That is something that's really important to me, and I've mentioned that several times on different monthlies that I've done. And because of that, my goal, you guys, is to write 1 newsletter a month, and in that to have some kind of spread idea for you, or a blog post about working with tarot, or tarot reflections or oracle reflections, cardomancy reflections in general, and to have really hands-on things to do. Along with that, I may be launching a course and you may want to be a part of that. So I've been thinking about mini courses. If you sign up for my newsletter and you guys get my newsletter, or you want to down below, let me know what kind of courses you might want to be a part of, what would be interesting and how long you might want those to be. I've been thinking about doing like some mini like one-day workshops. Is that something that anybody is even vaguely interested in? You know, would you rather do something over a couple weeks? You know, do you want a more long-term course? Give me your thoughts down below. Last year, I bought over 60 decks, and you can see those videos. They're under like my 2022 collection. I had like a Kickstarter one and a mass market one, I think I did. I may have even done like 3 of them. I can't remember, but they're huge, they're long. There were so many decks that I purchased last year. And early in the year, my first grandson, I have a granddaughter, my first grandson was born, and my stepfather died like really close together, like a month apart. And it really made me think about, you know, I love decks. As you can see, I love decks, but I'm collecting a lot of little slips of paper with pictures on them. And it just really gave me pause to think about, you know, what do I want to put my resources into and what I want to be doing, you know? And so I definitely want to be traveling more and paying for plane tickets to see my grandkids more than I want to be buying decks. I've also changed my thoughts on like deck collecting versus deck collecting and culling and all that kind of stuff. I've really changed my mind on all of that. As a matter of fact, I had a bunch of decks that were in purgatory that I was going to cull and get rid of, and I actually kept almost all of those. And the reason being is I decided that, and let me know if you have ever done this, that they may not feel right now, but I personally have the space. I have a cupboard in my entry that I can store decks that I'm not working with or into right now that I may be into someday. Maybe these will be worth something that my kids can sell after I'm dead. Some kind of inheritance, who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But I decided to keep them. I decided that I wasn't into culling my decks anymore. I was into keeping whatever it was that I bought. So I changed my mind on consumerism a lot. With that, let's jump into the decks that I did purchase this year, and I'm going to tell you why I purchased them and what they've meant to me. One of the things that's really important to me is friendship and support. And so I purchased Levi Smith's Arcane Warrior Tarot. He is from Masculine Intuition Readings here on TarotTube. I love Levi. He is so sweet. Box is so beautiful. You guys know I'm a box whore. You know, he chose to do a book, but not the same old book. And I have enjoyed the book being a different take on having a book. He's got like different incense oils or tools that go with each one of these cards. It was just a very different deck than I've ever gotten. And I felt like this was such a beautifully divine masculine deck for me to put into my collection. But I also, again, I bought this to really support Levi, to support his work, to support there being something put out by a man. I don't know that we have that many decks that are put out by men, and I think it's important too. I love this Six of Pentacles, the Six of Discs. This was such a good choice. This card is really important to me, and I can tell a lot about the deck creator by what they do with this card. It's just not the same old, and I actually started keeping bees this year about the time that I got this deck. And so I appreciate the cleverness of that card. And a lot of these cards are very clever. It's lovely. It's lovely. It's right on. It speaks to me, and it brings something to my collection that don't have. Look at this gilding, you guys. It's It's like a matte gilding, but it's still sparkly. Oh, it's really and then I ordered this deck, which of course came much later, which was the next installment of the Seasons of the Witch Tarot by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. I just love these decks. How many of you out there love these decks? There's obviously my last card that I got. The backs. Ooh, pretty different colored foil. I know the foil isn't going to last forever, but that's okay. It's so interesting. This is the Maven one. So at the beginning of the year, I saw that this came out and I ordered it immediately. I was so excited to order it. And so I had this on pre-order. And okay. So in February, I had this epiphany about, you know, what am I doing? What the hell am I doing with my time? What do I really want to be doing? Who do I really want to be? What do I want to be sewing into? And my grandson was born. And I told you guys I took a bit of a break. My stepfather died in April, the day before my 51st birthday. And it was such a blessing, everyone. Really, he got a lung infection. He had COPD. He'd had it for 30 years. He went into the hospital on a Monday. He decided to go into hospice on Friday. He went there Saturday. He died Sunday. So it was just, I mean, honestly, he did not want to hang around. It was like he had decided he was done. And I'm really happy that he could partner in his passing in that way, because I do really feel like he did partner in his passing. So like I had ordered this right about that time after he had died. And so it's so interesting because this is a harvest. Maven is about the harvest. And so I kind of remembered that when I got this deck. And it feels like it's linked to that. It's linked to that, to my stepfather's passing. He was a profound person in my life. And honestly, he's the last parent that I'm actually in touch with. I'm estranged from my dad. That was weird, and I think this deck will always be linked to the sadness of another parent passing, kind of the final parent, and then the beauty of partnering with what's passing away. And just I was so grateful that he could partner with his passing the way that he did. So the next thing I ordered is, anybody know what deck this goes to? This is a wonderful note from them. I ordered a replacement deck for the Super Lunaris, and you can see this one is sealed in plastic. I think I was probably all the way into summer and had ordered 2 decks at this point. And I realized that if I lost a card in the Super Lunaris, I don't even have it in here, or I would show it to you. This is my working deck. This is the deck I use all the time. This is my deck. But what if I lost it? What if this suddenly was not around anymore and I couldn't get a replacement card? My other one is so worn, and I love how worn the cards feel. But if I lost a card, I would want to have a replacement. How many of you have a double deck, like a replacement deck? As summer rolled on, my life really turned towards the farm. I'm going to show you some photos of the farm. My life really, and my focus really turned towards the farm and what I wanted to be creating out here this year. I really wanted to get new siding up on part of the house, and that had been a thing for so long. So I got it up, I got it painted. I actually wanted to, we have a room which used to be our teens room, our last kid number 5, and she moved out. And so I redid her room and made it into a grandkids room. And so here's what I did. I've got all these cool pictures of the room, and it was kind of like this dark room that hadn't been redone in forever. And so now there are little beds, and there's a bed for parents at this point. I had gotten bees this year, and that was super exciting for me. I learned a lot. I was really nervous about having bees. I'm still really nervous. This will be my first winter. I'm not sure that my bees are going to make it, that I've done enough to help them to make it. I really hope that I have. I love my bees. It has been a magical journey. I had a beehive that was in the ceiling of, this is my spirit room that I'm in here. I looked high and low for somebody to help me remove those. We had to tear into the floor. Oh, joy. They were around a toilet in the upstairs apartment. So we had to rip open the floor and remove these bees so that they could be relocated. And now we're in the process of trying to get that sewn back up. It's really not necessary at the moment, but this winter I have to get it sealed in a way so that the bees do not move back in, because this is the second time we removed a hive from this area, and I don't want to have to do it again. Then I decided in the spring to retake one of the greenhouses and to do a food and medicinal herb garden. And so I have all sorts of wonderful herbs in there, and I did herbal harvests, and I made a ton of tinctures this year, like nervine tinctures for anxiety. And I took up soap making, which is something that I hadn't done, and I'm just loving that. I've enjoyed doing that. So I really pushed into my herbalism component because, as many of you know, I'm really into the earth, and I'm an animist, and natural spirituality is my jam. So yeah, it was super fun moving into my herbalism craft, actually growing more of the herbs instead of just going and buying them, to make different tinctures. And it's been really neat to ally myself with a lot of these plants. If you're not familiar with creating plant allies, it's the idea of actually developing a one-on-one relationship with that plant to understand it from a different standpoint. And I do feel like I have begun to groove some really cool relationships with herbs that I have loved for years. So, like I said, last year I purchased over 60 decks, and this year I purchased 10.
A total of
10. Then
ten.
I went over to go do my taxes to this wonderful place that I go to, and I bought the Tree Keeper's Oracle. There's a store there called the Green Salmon. It's actually a vegan coffee shop, and they have all these tarot and oracle decks. So they walk in and you file along, like here's the counter. You file in, and then you go around all back here is all tarot decks. So as you're waiting to order, you're just in front of all these decks. It's super fun. It's such a fun trip. So I got the Tree Keeper Oracle, and this is by Angie Sullen's. Box is beautiful. And this is where I have developed a US games fetish. Although this is an insert, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's solid. It's like there's foam underneath or something. These don't come out. Really nice ribbons. Each one comes with a bag. I'm just like, US Games is killing it. And I did a walkthrough of this. I'm not going to, if you want to see the walkthrough, it was, I think in November. And you might recognize this art. This is Stephanie Law. She did it's right here. I can actually grab it. She did the Shadowscapes Tarot. And so this deck is so beautiful. Like the connection, like each one of them are keepers, and they're tree keepers. So each one is a different type of tree keeper. And so like keeper of the subconscious, keeper of balance. There are just so many. The artwork is gorgeous, but I fell in love with Angie Sullen's and her writing. Her writing is so good. I have another deck, which is the next deck I'm going to show you that I got of hers. So I didn't even know that this had come out, and it was so perfect for me. I wouldn't have seen it unless it was there. She just sticks to it. She's an incredibly powerful, like I imagine if I were to meet her, that she's this intense person because her writing is really intense. I then purchased Witch, which I also saw over there. They didn't have it, so I purchased it a little bit later, and I was surprised to find that it too is Angie Sullen's. I had no idea. While you're eating, every table has a basket with decks on it, so you can draw cards. And so I had a couple days there because I was doing my taxes. Yeah, and so I got a chance to look at this and read the book. And of course, I had no idea who made it. And I had seen that Witch, W-I-T-C-H, had come out, and I'd seen it and thought, nah, I don't know. I don't know that I need that. It's just another sort of like media collage deck. Oh yeah, I recognize a lot of the paintings in it. And I had kind of poo-pooed it. And then again, I sat down with it and I like the art. And I like the keywords. But what I really liked was her writing. The premise of this deck is women's sovereignty. And the writing is very intense and very powerful. It really asks us as women to embrace who we are on a deeper level and not accept stories or substitutes. The book is so beautiful. Look at the book. Look here at this like poetry that she's got in here. This is what I was trying to find. It's just, she's got poetry. I'm blown away by the box. I would have loved it if these had been edged in green, but they are foiled. What I like about this, now normally I would prefer there to be more on here than the companion. This just has me looking at the cards differently because I don't have keywords on here. And I was tempted to write keywords on here, but then I was like, no. And I'm still... The other thing that this does... Okay, so here's a perfect example. There are images of different mythological characters in here that have been portrayed in ways that I do not have a connection with that way. Like, this is not how I view Medusa at all. Medusa for me is a very empowering statement on righteous anger, but she takes it in a very different direction. This is the devouring mother. And so it's almost a negative idea that she has about Medusa. Now, some of you might go, well, why would you be okay with that? I'm okay with that because I don't want to think that I know something. I want to be challenged. I want my decks to take me out of what I think I know about something. I want to be challenged. There's one in here where she took Circe Indivosa from John Waterhouse and turned it into something. Here it is right here. So this is from Circe Indivosa, but she has taken her out and then put this in and made this Alchemist of Pain. So to go in this different direction, to take a painting that I absolutely adore, this is probably... So it takes my mind in a different direction. This deck makes me use the book and it makes me go to the writing, and I kind of like that about it. A lot of times you'll know that I just skip the book. I'll be like, just skip the book. I know what that is. And I find I'm better off for having gone to the book. So yay for US Games. Love these rounded boxes. They're really nice. And yay for Angie Sullins. I would love to get, she has a couple more decks that I didn't even know existed, and I may be getting those in the future. And then I couldn't be left out of Sasha Graham's The Witch's Garden. All of you know that I really do not like Llewellyn boxes, but if there's one place that Llewellyn decks shine, it's in their books. I mean, their books are just gorgeous, and the writing tends to be really good. I find that what Llewellyn puts out is quality, and so it's like another witchy deck. I mean, how many witchy decks do you need, April? But I thought that maybe Sasha would challenge me just because Llewellyn has a way of having really good writers, that she might challenge me to think about things different. Everybody knows what the Llewellyn cardstock is like. I have enjoyed this. I have enjoyed the images. They are different. I mean, I thought, oh gosh, is this going to be just like, let's try to grab these here. You know, is this going to be another Forest of Enchantment or the Green Witch Tarot, or, you know, but it's not. It definitely is right in the vein of what I love, and I look forward to pairing this with Hidden Realms. I think it's going to pair just beautifully with Hidden Realms Tarot. If you're looking to pair, what a cool death! I thought this was really, really neat here. That here's the mother grieving the daughter's death. And then here's the little girl, you know, she's not sad. And it's almost like death is smiling like, hey, let's go. yeah, this Nine of Cups. Very different. Very, very different. So I have been really happily surprised by the Witch's Garden. Like I said, I wasn't going to get it. Almost burned that. Did you see me almost burn that box? That'll be the second time I burned a box on camera. Yeah, I wanted it. I wanted it, and I thought, you know, I haven't bought anything, so I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And I haven't even worked with this a ton. So this will be great for 2024, especially since this is a year of heavy study for me. This year, I am finishing up my Druidic level with Obod, Order of Bards, Ovids, and Druids. And I'm going to Wales in May. I'm super excited. I have a Magical Wales tour with Gothic Tours. And then I'm going to end my tour by spending 2 days in Bath. And that's going to be fabulous. I'm staying one night, only one night, at a hotel there that pipes the actual springs, hot springs, into their spa. And I have use of the spa in, I think it's like 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, which I'm planning like to just be like at that spa, just totally soaking in the waters, taking the waters, as they say. So this is a year of study where I'm really diving into my magical practice, really diving into the land around here. One of my goals, and I still have 4 more decks just to let you guys know. One of my goals is to plant some oaks out in our forest out here and kind of tending those. And that's part of my working with the forest. I also am going to be spending some time committed to removing some of the brambles that are starting to take in areas of the forest that I just don't want them. And if I can get in there and take them out, I can save kind of the fern forest. What happens is these brambles get in and then they start covering everything, and before you know it, there's nothing but brambles. Whoever brought those over from England, we're not so happy with you, because they just, I'm sure they're this way in England too. You've got brambles everywhere. So anyway, back to the decks. Let me know down below if you are studying something. So then we got around to, it's Yule time, and I had not purchased the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle yet. So now I have the green foiled one, and I'm sure most of you know this because it is so old, but I think this is fun. This is just really fun and really sweet. It's interesting. So far, my favorites are the Imbolc and the Samhain. And so, but I'm happy to have them all, and I will buy them all, and I will be the first to be pre-ordering them. I just click pre-order immediately. As soon as I see that come up, I am on it. Yeah, so there's that. But you guys, I am taking a course this year. I have already started it with Christopher Hughes, with the Anglesey Order of Druids, as well as finishing my Obod. And so Christopher Hughes is just an incredible writer. Again, another Llewellyn deck with these absolutely wretched, disgusting, horrible boxes. So this is the Yuletide Tarot, and of course it's the midwinter solstice. Some of you know that as winter solstice. Oh, the art style is so fun on this one. It just did not really like the court cards so much, but I did find that so many cool different mythologies that he touched on in the book. Like, the book is really good, and that was one of the reasons that I did buy it, is because I knew, like, look at this. Here's the Krampus. Who doesn't love Krampus? Come on. I love the illustration style. It's modern, and yet it's not. It's got the old-fashioned as well. The writing and this chunky book, look at how fun the papers are. And it's, I mean, the Llewellyn books are so lovely. They really are beautiful. Yeah, I had to have it, and I did do a I did do like a flip through of this at the end of November, I think, something like that. So if you want to see a longer flip through of that, but having something seasonal, I am someone who follows the wheel of the year because I live on a farm. So I wanted to get something that was more seasonal. Lastly, I have this deck right here. Now, you guys, I have not even cracked this deck open. This is the Fantastical Creatures Tarot and this is again by US Games. This is just apparently the way they used to be doing. This is older deck. I think this is from like 2002. And here, let me just... So this is sort of a mini unboxing. Looks like they have a little quick reference here. Now, I happen to know that Wands, I think Swords is fire and Wands is air in here because that is the like Golden Dawn magical reference, if I remember right. So one of you, I'm sorry, I don't remember who you are, in my decks I'm crushing on. Love this. Oh my gosh. I'm already, so I haven't even looked at this. I'm gonna try to talk while I look at this and go through. One of you on my decks I'm crushing on video told me, and I'd asked, what decks are you crushing on? And I'll ask you right now, hey, you guys, write down below, what decks are you using right now? Mentioned this, and I had other people mention other things, but for some reason I went and checked out this deck and I thought, I have to have this deck. And looking at it, I'm really excited that I did get it. It's just so pretty. And so it's got really cool little explanations of what's going on in there. And it's got the divinatory meaning and the magical uses as well. So this deck, oh look, they even put that magician on there. I mean, that magician, I love it. Love it. I'm so excited. So this is something that because I ordered it, I ordered a couple things at once, and I just don't want to gobble things up. I want to give myself some time to, feel my way into different decks that I get. I don't want to just gobble them up. I am waiting for the new year for this. So this is something that I will be looking at. The last deck that I can't seem to find is my Imulk deck that I ordered. It's the Seasons of the Witch Imulk. And that one I will be opening up in a couple weeks. And I don't even want to look at it until it's Imulk season. So we're like 35 minutes into this. If you made it this far, thanks so much for being here. My year was really profound. And one of the things that I took away from this year is that I need to get busy on being the person that I really want to be. I really want to be teaching tarot. I really want to be deep into my magical practice. I really want to be connected to my land and my family. And I needed to stop making excuses or allowing distractions to really take me away from the beauty of what I really want to be creating. And so because of that, you're going to see kind of a difference in my videos. This year I've created streamlined ways to edit. My videos are just less complex, except for my openings. I love my intros. I always have to have an intro that I really like. But I really wanted to be quality on what I was talking about on here. And I hope that will show in this year's videos that all of you partake in and see. So please, again, give me your feedback. Happy New Year. If you haven't done my New Year's spread yet, I want to tell you, you could do it anytime. It's a great spread. I put that out in the middle of December, and I got it from the idea of like an advent calendar. So it's a cool thing to do any time of year. You could adapt that spread to, anything. So look in my spreads list. If you haven't done a New Year's spread yet, try this one out. It's super fun. Even if this is like, the middle of January, go ahead. I actually start my new year in October, but I do it again this time of year. Why? Because there's all this fabulous energy where everybody's like, yay, I'm going to exercise and I'm going to be this person that I want to be. But I actually started everything that I'm talking about back in October. Health and well-being is a big thing. I started running in the summer, but then I had my accident in August, and that kind of set me back. So I'm just now getting healed up to the point where I can start running again in the forest. And that is a goal for me too, is to really move into my body more, and to do that as exercising within the realm of my land this year. So let me know what your goals are this year. What is it you're wanting to do and be and achieve? What did you learn about yourself in this last year? Yeah, let me know down below all of the great things that you have decided are important to you. And until we meet again, may you know that every day is a new day, a new year, a new time, a new now, and you can be part of it in any way that you choose.